Hey, how'd my father die?
49 times we fought that beast, your old man and me. Had a chicken head with duck feet, with a woman's face too.
Oh, that's rad.
It was waiting in the bushes for us. Then it ripped off your dad's face. He was screaming something awful. In fact, there was this huge mess, and I had to change the floors.
The floors?
You see his blood, it drained into the boards, and I had to change them. But we all got a chicken duck woman thing waiting for us. Every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. 'Cause something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love.
Yo, never knew my dad, he didn't care about me. Dead horizon is all my macro binoculars see. Moisture farming all my life and not a drop spilled. My aunt and uncle double sons and sipping blue milk. My aunt and uncle double sons, I'm sick of blue milk.
But then a desert hobo came and told me we all got a chicken duck woman thing waiting for us. Every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Yeah, something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love.
Do not wear that outfit again. But if you wanna keep it clean, because I want to fit in. Sorry, you're just not terribly important to me. Did you know that Whitney Houston's debut LP, her phone number 1 singles on? Did you know that Christy, there are no girls with good personalities? I don't think we should see each other anymore. It never was supposed to be. Gotta return some videotapes. Have to return some videotapes. Did you know I'm utterly insane? I like to dissect girls that ate some of their brains. Gotta return some videotapes. I'm really late. Gotta return some videotapes. I guess I was probably returning videotapes. Gotta return some videotapes. I guess I was probably returning videotapes.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm a hero of the new world.
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Be advised that I'm mean, nasty, and tired. I eat concertina wire and piss napalm, and I can put a round through a flea's ass at 200 meters. So you go hump somebody else's leg, mother.
A little bit of toxic masculinity for you. The way that it should be. The way that we need it. The way that I miss it. I'll tell you what. It's awesome. Sorry to have you guys waiting. Appreciate you staying for that long ass intro. But I thought it was right for the two guys that we have on today, knowing that they are musicians themselves and they like some good old fashioned heavy metal. Say hi to the chat real quick before we get rolling. We got Rick Saylor in the house. Hail to you, brother. Good to see you. Got Mark as well. History being made right here tonight. Yes. These guys I have on tonight haven't seen each other for a while. Haven't talked to each other for a while. So this is the first time they're going to be memories, and we're going to talk about PITT. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. It's going to be great. We got Scary Batman Jenkins in the house as well. Good to see you. We got Darth Josh. Damn, look at all you guys. David G. Oh, Insaniacs Draws. I'm going to go down here as fast as I can. Let's see. We got Baz in the house. Hail to you. Good to see you. Mike TV Dub. We got Dean. One Wicked Evo. We got Tarks9, member of the channel. Rick Saylor, member of the channel, by the way, as well. Astro Zombie, member of the channel. Thank you for being here, guys. We got Cullen in the house. Hail the chat. Love the avatar. That's great. We got Pit Stop. Love it. Good to see you. 80s made consumer. There you are. I got Jay Ryan as well. Oh, man. I'm going to skip down here. I don't want to miss anybody, but let me skip down here a little bit. Lord Nemesis is in the house as well. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Chat jumped on me a little bit. Sooner GM, great movies. Yes. From the best time, right? 80s and 90s, man. 80s and 90s was some of my favorite time. So when I was a teenager, I thought some of the best stuff came out in the 80s and 90s. Got Jay Lee in the house, Mr. James Lee himself. Mr. Jasper Plan 9, finally at the beginning of the show. He doesn't have to do the whole 2Xing to get caught up. Good to see you, man. We got 24 Eyes in the house as well, brother. Good to see you. All right, guys. Crazy Mad. Who day? Good to see you, man. It's been a second. B Rose is also in the house. All right, that's gonna be the last person I say. Let's get rolling with the show, though. We have I made it down to the bottom. All right. Tonight we're doing the cover reveal. So if you guys know, you follow the channel, you know that I have a book called Reaper Destroyer that Dale Keown did this fantastic cover. And when I approached him about it, I was like, hey, because I know he likes drawing big faces and stuff. I was like, I got an idea. What if you do it the face of Reaper Destroyer and we do it like a PITT homage to PITT #1? I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and get Joe Chiodo to do the colors. I'm going to get Chance Wolf to do the logos. I didn't know if I could actually make these things happen at the time, but I was just hoping. And here we are months later, and it actually happened. So we're going to talk to two of the guys that are very much involved in this cover, this homage, jamming for the first time with each other since probably PITT #1 in 1993. We have Mr. Dale Keown and Chance Wolf on the show. Welcome to the show, guys. Great to see you. Yeah.
How you guys doing, man? I love your intros. I'm all pumped up for your intros. I'm doing air drums. I'm hitting myself in the face. It's terrible.
I know. I was like, we got to rock out. We got to rock out tonight.
That's right. I love me some double kick air drums.
Hell yeah. No, I put the newest part of the intro I put together today because I was like, man, I've talked to both you guys before. We've talked music before, all of us. And I was like, I got to put something cool together, something a little bit heavy metal. Because I've got these like funky intros in the beginning. They're just fun, just while I'm waiting for people to get in. And I was like, I need something that's going to kick somebody in the nuts. And I put that together and I was like, fuck yeah. Like that was good. It worked.
Well,
absolutely how I wanted.
That's the thing that's missing from these shows is music. You can't do music. Like I would love to have just music in the background. And then when there's a lull, it kind of swells up.
It would be cool is if we had big enough shows where we had producers that could actually do that kind of stuff, just sink it into the background and bring it up when it needs to be brought up. Yeah, that would be awesome.
With sound clips and drops.
Yeah. Music makes a lot of things better.
It really
a lot of
does.
things better.
That's the only thing missing. Everything else perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got 44 people in the chat. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, bell for notifications, and we're going to jump into the show. So, gentlemen,
both feet. Come on.
Both feet, bare ass naked. I mean, no, just
first of all, nice to see you, Chance.
It's great seeing you, Dale. It's just
last time I saw you was like the honeymoon suite at some hotel in San Diego, I think.
Yeah.
Remember that place?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Sam Keith was there. Oh my God, it was a great show.
Story time. And that's absolutely.
I think somebody had some good weed.
Oh,
it's always a good weed back then. A San Diego weed.
The good weed back then.
Sticky. Oh yeah.
I like that.
I was really baked. It's so weird, man. Walking through that convention center baked. It's like, oh wow. It's like,
The whole thing was
Party
surreal
time.
from the get-go, man. Starting
It
from
was.
the guy that I wasn't known for anything. All of a sudden, I'm right out front with you guys. That was intense.
Yeah, I remember that the car that Todd had.
Yeah.
Did you paint
The race car?
Yeah,
I painted it, man. I used to
exactly. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's crazy. I used to paint race cars and sign painting and shit back right out of high school. So that's how I got the gig. That's how Todd hooked me up with you. Was that
Right? Exactly. Now it's all
one gig, you know, because I knew lettering.
Yeah.
I can tell you this real quick, Dale.
Yeah.
So I go to the first convention all the Image guys were ever together at, and I was pushing this little smut comic that I was drawing, right? And I went through for shits and giggles and showed my portfolio, and I happened to did this lettering sample page with a lot of sound effects and dialogue, and I threw it down in front of Todd, and he's like, I was at that point I was hoping to get like a drawing job. He goes, "Hey, this is some good lettering here. I got a guy named Dale Keown coming out with a book named PITT. How'd you like to letter it?" And in my mind, it was so obnoxious. I went, "Fucking lettering." Can I say that word?
Oh
yeah, you are free to curse on this channel. Absolutely. Go ahead.
I've been lettering and doing the signs for 10 years, man. I want to letter. But then when I understood what I was getting into,
it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you take a lettering to a different level. Beautiful.
That was intense.
That's one of that's
yours.
Well, that's the thing about those. Even Spawn was like the lettering was like an artwork on it to itself. Like you could just look at the lettering and the sound effects and all that stuff, and it was enough.
Yeah, Orzechowski was a big influence on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you couldn't help but follow him. He was the man.
He's good.
Real quick about this, when you're sending me those pages, I think you might have roughed in places you wanted sound effects, but we wove those in. They become like characters in themselves. That they were just huge sound effects. I could not be happier with that. It was a blast. You know.
Yeah, they're very effective. Very effective.
Yeah.
Well,
let's talk about that for a second. So Dale, you were off jamming on Incredible Hulk, like we all know, and you made the jump to Image, which everyone's talked about.
Jump to Lightspeed.
Yeah. And they asked you if you had a character. You said yes. You came up with PITT pretty quick, and you put it out. So how did you get hooked up with Chance when it came to the logo, the lettering?
I'm not exactly sure. I just was Todd recommended him, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't remember the phone call. I don't remember how it happened, but
it's kind of a blur.
Yeah, it is a blur. It really is. I mean, we're talking 30 years ago, right?
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, Todd tells him, "Hey, here's your #1 book. Have this guy that's never lettered a book before."
That is actually pretty funny when you think about it. You know, but the book itself turned out so fantastic. Dale, before you jumped on, I was talking with Chance about it, and from a viewer's point of view, or just a collector as a kid, that's still one of my favorite books of all time. Like, I just love everything that came out with it, the colors, the way you drew and inked it, like how just heavy dark it was, the sound effects. When we were talking about the sound effects behind the before we went live, I was like, yes, like, the sound effects are great in that book. Like, it's just all around probably one of my top 5 favorite books, sitting at probably #1, and probably always will be.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember, Chance, you did that your own style guide, color guide, and you gave PITT like a gold tooth. Do you still?
Oh, really?
That was great.
You got it.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, I was like, oh, nice.
Right?
And there's an actual gold tooth right here. That's a metallic gold sticker there.
Nice.
I think that was like the first. It was before Chiodo. I never know how to say his name, but
Chiodo, something like that.
But yeah, this ended up in back of my hands in some weird ass.
Oh, that's so awesome!
Transaction. Yeah,
that is so awesome. We got Phil in the house. Hail,
hail.
To say comics. Good to see you, brother. Let's see. Hold on a second. I was letting you guys talk there for a little while. I was paying attention to the chat, because really what I want to do is get you guys on and just reminisce a little bit, tell some stories, and just let you guys go. Because I know Chance was talking about just a lot of stuff when it came to back in the day of how crazy it was at the start of Image. You know, just how it was when the entire industry, but with everybody is so new. New guys were coming in left and right. Like Chance said, I didn't even know he was just picked up pretty much off the street a little bit and put right on the PITT. Like that's crazy. But the books, it turned out so good. You know, like you couldn't tell if you had never lettered before. I mean, like everything just looks so fantastic.
Everything just sort of fell into place, you know.
Really did. It's kind of a little destiny thing where the synergy of all these artists going full tilt.
Yeah, it's a good energy.
Yeah, and I think, Dale, you'd agree that when we all in our own way got our chance to do whatever the hell we wanted to do with no rules, I think it opened up every artist, no colorists, letters, pencilers, inkers, just to go balls out and be uninhibited.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Because, working for Marvel and DC, or it's like you're kind of inhibited.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just feel a sort of sense of happiness when you can do your own thing. And therefore
freedom.
You do the best work that you can do.
And it showed. It absolutely showed.
Everybody did. Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah. I've said this before on this channel before with some of the videos I've gone over. Like, you can tell within the art of those early Image books just how fun people were having drawing the book. And you could tell they were doing stuff that they couldn't do before, and it was freedom. It was, they were just letting loose, and it showed up, in the line work of all those early books, including PITT, which, by the way, I know that dropped, and it was just like an explosion because you had the original founders came out and did their thing. That first year went well, and then I think it was like you and Sam Keith were the next, I think, big names to come to Image with PITT and the Max, and both those books just blew up. I remember PITT dropping, and it was just like the new Incredible Hulk for the new generation. You know what I'm saying? Like when PITT hit, it was just like a lot of people were like, "Fuck the Hulk, we're all about PITT now. We're all about this badass biker alien dude with claws."
That was my intention.
Everything.
That was my intention all along.
Yeah,
you nailed it. It was awesome. Tark says can't wait for the new PITT books or comics. Yes,
Tark's 9.
I think the world is waiting for that. Honestly.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. No pressure.
I just heard myself that you're doing that, Dale. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I'll be looking forward to that myself.
Hey,
real quick about that lettering,
Dale,
on PITT 1 and 2, whatever, when we made the choice of creating an actual font for PITT and another font for the other alien.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, that turned out to be a little bit on my end of like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, I think the lettering was on a separate acetate layer.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, but it's hard to scan.
Yes.
I mean, now back then it would probably be a lot easier to scan now because technology and stuff.
But that lettering, each letter was like a little PITT logo.
Yes.
That splattered style. I'm going, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, to repeat that. And you couldn't scan it in and repeat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nowadays, you just scan all your letters. Not back then.
No.
Chance, what was the thought behind, and both you guys, what was the thought behind what I call now the iconic splatter logo that was PITT? And it kind of used it with the Max too a little bit, but PITT was its own thing with like the splatter. What was the idea behind going with that style?
I think that was all you, Chance. I don't think I told you to do a splatter. I think you just sort of like instinct took over and said that would just make sense. Splatter, because the original PITT logo was like claws and stuff. Remember that?
Yep. Yeah.
I still have that banner. I should get it.
You should if you got it. Yeah.
And Chance Wolf painted the whole thing. And it's
no
the
shit.
PITT logo, but it's like the PITT claws make all the letters.
Jeez,
that was actually
that.
Oh, dude, I might. I'm gonna go look for it. I should have gotten it.
I was just gonna say, yeah, if it's free, go grab it. But if not, like if it's gonna take a while, we could do it again sometime. But that's badass. That's cool.
I think what happened with that is seeing the character and what was going on.
Yeah,
I had to go for the splatter effect, and with that and the Max, you never really see much of that. Later, all the rough, rustic thrash letters started in the later '90s. But I don't say I innovated, but I think I was kind of at the head of that, doing that splattery, thrashy kind of stuff for like comic book logos.
It was perfect for the books coming out. I mean, that logo was perfect for PITT.
Yeah, it was. I can't imagine PITT with any other logo, to be honest with you. Which is why I was like, when you bring PITT back, please
letters.
Make sure you bring the logo back, because
it doesn't look right with block letters.
No, it's something about the it fit that era, it fit the time. It was like attitude, right? And that's what I liked about Image in general. Like everything Image did, I felt was like attitude based. It was like the rebelling against the industry, and like everything was just this attitude, this style, everything to the logos. It's the same thing with the logo with Max and all that. But like Spawn or PITT came out, and that was just he had this giant face shot, which I mean, ballsy, right? Just for the #1 issue, you know, and you're just showing the face of the character, and you got to see the actual character when you read the book. Like it was a good strategy, and you had this cocky. That's what it is. It was a cocky,
yeah.
It was a cocky logo, and it's just a cocky way of doing things. I love it.
There's something about the big face that just when you walk into a comic book store, it's just looking at you.
Yeah,
you know? A lot of people have said that, like they're sort of walking past the stand and they do a double take. Why is that guy staring at me? I gotta buy that.
Yeah, it was damn near life. Well, not life size. Pitt's pretty huge, but yeah, in your face,
well, human size face.
Yeah. Cocksure, yes.
Yes. I know. I don't think I ever told you this, Dale, but when Sam called me, he goes, "I seen Dale's logo. I need something cool like that." And how he described that one, I'll never forget. He said, "Oh, I'm going to tell you the PITT thing in a minute." But when he told me about the Max, he said, "I wonder if the Max ripped someone's arm off and wrote his name on the wall."
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I often wondered about that. That's
but the PITT logo. Now I remember. I'm sorry. I was out and it was the summertime. And my kid had a squirt gun, and I just had it there. I was out on the sidewalk. I started going with the squirt gun and
really
started splattering. Yeah, I started splattering. I started drawing lines. Then I started making letters. I go, "Oh, okay, I'm there."
Nice.
I love that detail.
Yeah, so that's just kind of the squirt gun inspired this
on a hot summer day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like somebody opened up their veins and just kind of like
exactly.
Yeah. No, I love stories like that. That's awesome. Just seeing how
really
something like that just comes together.
That's a detail I did not know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, and just again, it just works so good with the character. And still today. Yeah, it is badass. It's cool, you know, when artists, because that's the thing. Like, if you guys don't know who Chance Wolf is, he's an all-around artist, draws, inks, colors, letters, you know, all that stuff. If you were collecting comics in the 90s, you saw Chance Wolf's name just all over the place. Like, it was just, and I mean,
first
you can't
of all,
forget a name like Chance Wolf.
Name.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
you can't forget that name.
That's
one of the most amazing names I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I want to have that name. That's a perfect.
Same here. When I was a kid, I was like, "Oh fuck, like that's an awesome name, Chance Wolf."
Up, man.
Shit,
that can't be.
I could have sucked it. I still would have been cool.
Yes, exactly. The legend of Chance Wolf.
You know, Dale, when you sent me those pencils for the lettering guys,
right?
It was just some of the most incredible stuff. You were inking all that, correct?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because I knew you weren't going even for Dale's loose pencils. I've saved them. I've still got Xeroxes of all of it, and most
really,
yeah. And
whip it out,
yeah, pull it up.
It's in my shop. Unfortunately, I should have been more prepared.
Me too. Oh my god, I should have. Oh.
Next time,
we'll have to have part two.
Yeah, we'll have part two. Yeah,
exactly. But this stuff was coming at me, and I was just a fan of Dale's and Todd and all these guys. And at a turn of a coin, I'm chatting with Dale on the phone, doing this letter. He's sending me pencils. I got to tell you, it's mind blowing because I was still a fan. Right. And then at a turn of a hat, I got like these Xeroxes of his work. It was intense.
I bet.
It's beautiful. His pencils are just phenomenal.
You know, I often when I talk to anybody from that era that was there, and I hear about how many people have the Xerox collections of all these fantastic art because they would see them when they would come through Image Central or whatever it would be. Man, do I get jealous.
Yeah, I
talk to like Dan Fraga about the amount of Xeroxes he has.
Yeah,
all this stuff. Like,
we'd fax things back and forth all the time. It's like a fax. Then I would make a photocopy of the fax. Because fax, that thermal paper doesn't last.
Yeah, I bet.
I think I got the whole first issue of Wildcats on thermal fax.
Really?
Paper.
Oh shit!
Just fades in like a month.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
But yeah, was I faxing your stuff, Chance? Was I?
Oh yeah, I did save them to a point until they diminished to white paper.
I think on one book I ran out of paper, so I printed out the logo on fax paper. I cut it out and stuck it on the page. So now you look at that page and like it's nothing there. It's like invisible ink. It's not there anymore.
No shit.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of faxing back then.
Oh
like nobody faxes now. Like that's
it's unheard of anymore. Like
technology.
Maybe go back about 10 years, people were still faxing, maybe then a little bit, but
I
don't think anybody does anymore.
Yeah, I think banks were faxing for way too many years after nobody else was. I don't know why, you know?
Yeah.
And the FedExing the pages. I mean, the money
yeah,
made off of Image
oh,
was insane, man.
yeah, so much FedExing.
But
Yeah, back
everyone's
and
making
forth.
enough money to afford it then.
Yeah, exactly.
Jaylee says, "What do you mean scans? I own some of those old pages, just not Dale's." Ah, yeah. Jaylee's got a hell of a collection of stuff that he's shown me before.
Does he?
Yeah. Mr. James Lee, by the way, just in case anybody, I know people get confused.
It's Jaylee, yeah.
They think it's Jaylee. Yeah, the actual he is an actual Jaylee, but you know, Jaylee. But yes, James Lee.
Not
awesome.
Jaylee.
Right. Has an awesome collection and awesome book too. He's coming out here in a little bit. We're gonna have him on the channel here in a few weeks talking about it. Got Aldous in the house. Hail, brother. Good to see you guys. Thank you all for joining us here. I see some Mandy people coming in. I appreciate that. Matt Sturgis, Mandy Raid incoming. Awesome. Appreciate it. We got 74 people. Just remember to hit that like if you can, subscribe, bell for notifications. And if you guys missed the beginning of the show, bringing together Dale and Chance for the first time in a long time, because both these guys were childhood heroes of mine. When I say that, I grew up in the Image era. Names were big to me. So artists and writers, well, not so much writers, artists, colorists, inkers like that. I grew up knowing all these names, and these were two names that I absolutely loved. Dale knows because I wrote him all the time as a teenager. All the time I'd send him letters to Full Bleed.
Yeah.
And
you got another one from Joe.
Yeah.
Put it on the pile. No, I've got a lot. I do appreciate it. It was great.
Oh, absolutely.
You're a loyal guy, Joe.
Dude, Pitt was my life. That was my favorite character. You were my favorite artist in that period of time. And I remember I would go to the comic book store every month because I didn't really, especially the later run, I wasn't quite sure when Pitt was coming out, but I'd go there every week just to make sure. Yeah. And when I see it on the shelf, I'd grab like 5 copies.
Wow.
I've got a shit ton of like extra Pitts all over in my collection.
You were that guy.
Yeah, I got them all. I got every single issue plus. But Chance Wolf was also another name that was always around. And when I set out to do Reaper Destroyer, the first thing I wanted to do was just work with people that I admired from the industry. You know, I went and contacted Bat and Weems to come in and do inking. I talked to Steve Furkow for doing colors for a little bit. He actually liked the project, just didn't have the time. Otherwise, he said he would. But it was cool just to kind of talk to him.
You talked to Sylvester at that convention? Yeah,
I got to talk to Sylvester. And then I got back in contact with Dale, and lo and behold, because of this whole streaming thing and Comicsgate, and able to actually get him to make a cover for me. Like imagine the 12-year-old me if I could go back and tell him that one day you would have your own book and Dale Keown is going to draw the cover. And by the way, Chance Wolf and Joe Chiodo are going to be involved in the cover as well. I mean, that's motherfucker,
it looks amazing. Well, I shouldn't say that. We haven't shown it yet, but it does look amazing.
It does. It looks so good. It looks so good. And ultimately that's why we're here, is to look at the cover. And we'll show it here probably right around the 11 o'clock hour. I just want to give these guys a chance to kind of talk and just reminisce, because
I wish I had a better memory. It sort of cuts off. I can remember everything from like 95 up. But it keeps changing as I get older. Each year, I can't remember past the 94. But sometimes somebody will talk about something, and all the memory just pop back in my head, and I go, "Oh, that's right."
Well, I was going to say, as far as I know, really Chance has a pretty damn good memory, so he seems to remember a lot of that time and that era. The times that we've talked about it.
Yeah, it's all little specific areas that made the impact. And I'm sure Dale knows this as well, that when Image kicked in, it was at light speed. Everyone was going 120%. So everything was moving so quick, you almost didn't have a chance to really appreciate it until
that's so true.
Yeah, until you got to a convention. Otherwise, you're like on the board all the time, 16 hours a day, drinking coffee. I didn't have to work as much as I did, but everyone's asking me to do these little side projects. I'm so thankful that they're asking me that you take it on. But
that's right. I couldn't say no.
Yeah,
you just appreciate that people want to work with you.
Yeah,
but you don't want to.
But working 16-hour days. But working 16-hour days, you didn't feel it.
No, you didn't. Well, I was like in my 30s.
Yeah, exactly. I was like 27.
Now I'm just hobbling around.
Yeah, that might change. That might change it a little bit. Yeah. help you recover a little bit faster for sure.
Now I can barely make it 4 hours without having to take a nap.
Oh, I love naps.
I hear you.
Love naps.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a nap right in the middle of the show.
Oh,
I've been known to
me
do.
with a good
I've been known to do that, Chance. Got a reputation.
Only a couple times, maybe. Just
what? Or just one really big time. 5-hour nap.
Got KSSSS in the house. Hail, brother. Good to see you guys. A lot of you, I have not been able to really man the chat team. I mean, you guys are just rocking and rolling in the chat. I appreciate that. That is awesome. We got Desolate Soul Studio says, I love getting over this shit, bro.
Those guys are fellow Canucks, fellow hosers.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I might do a show with them. I want to do a show with them. Set me up.
There you go. Reach out.
There you go.
I said this before when I was growing up, like I really wanted to be Canadian because of Dale. When I was a kid, I wanted to do music.
You don't want to be Canadian now.
I don't. But when it's just, when you're a kid, you have a tendency to just, follow your idols. You're like, oh, you start to learn everything about them as far as whatever's put out there in articles that you read. And I'm like, oh, Dale's in a band. I need to do music at some point. Dale's Canadian. I need to move to Canada. I need to live in Toronto. It's like all these things I wanted to do.
I remember I was looking, I used to like John Byrne, and he went to the Calgary School of Art. And I said, I got to go to the Calgary School of Art, because John Byrne did. So I know exactly how you feel. I thought maybe I could capture some of the same magic.
Right.
At the time become as good as John Byrne.
Well, we were actually, Chance and I were talking about that just probably about 20 minutes ago, like how when you first came on the scene, you did have like a Byrne feel with the Incredible Hulk. Right. And then you morphed that into your style that just became who you were, and then PITT came out and it was just like full on Dale Keown. Like that was the mic drop moment, in my opinion, for everything you saw from the Hulk to the PITT.
Yeah,
was just like this massive
you sort of absorb a little bit of influence from this artist, influence from another artist. I think I was just starting to get into Wrightson, Bisley, all those guys.
Yeah, when you started doing just bounce lighting and all this different stuff with your inks, especially to show up on PITT, like I think the art just went to another level. Because I've said this before, like the art on the Incredible Hulk was great, I loved it, but you can see the noticeable difference between Marvel and then when you move to Image to do PITT.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, John Byrne
just went all crazy.
Yeah, like John Byrne type of artist didn't do any of that kind of stuff.
Oh God,
double lighting and stuff. It's very just in your face, just very structured. But I love that stuff because it adds so much depth to a drawing.
Oh, it does.
It's just fun to draw too, because you can go and just put a light source here, light bouncing back up. It's just fun to do as an artist.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I was talking about how your work, Dale, especially now, it has so much form. You have this solid form that just almost leaps off the page that you don't see that in a lot of the pencils. It's not that they're obviously bad pencilers. There's just something different about how you approach the pencils that just blew my mind when I was looking at it.
I've always thought about just making the character look like it weighed something.
Yes. When I first met Todd, he said, when he brought you up and says, I got this guy, Dale Keown, do the pencils. He goes, I think this guy's the best artist out of all of us.
What?
Yeah.
Todd does not want you to tell me that, I don't think.
He's like, keep that a secret.
I'm going to remember that. Did you see my head, girl?
He really dug what you were doing. I'll tell you that, because I got to spend some one-on-one time. Because when I first broke in there, that convention, it was literally a week later because he'd seen the banner I painted for Al Simmons. It was Spawn.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Fantastic apparel. Because for Todd, anyways, another story. But he'd seen that I could like hand paint this stuff, and no one was printing those big posters yet.
No.
So Todd's was like the first. Anyways, he had a race car that in his garage that he wanted the Spawn logo on. The first race car, it's Spawnmobile number 1. So he said, come over to my place and paint this. And actually it's about 2 weeks. Now I go from nobody knows who or what the hell I am. These guys are my heroes. Now I'm spending the night at Todd's house, hanging out, painting the car during the day and chatting with them at night. It was just surreal as hell, man.
Talk about living the dream. I mean, damn.
Is there a Google image of that car?
There's got to be.
I actually just posted on Facebook, but he put it as a pin up and showed both sides. because now Todd actually we co-designed it, and he came up with the idea of if you're looking at top view, it goes from kitty corner chains going like so one side's white and then the other side's black with that chain separate. So he goes that way, Chancey, I get 2 cars in one. 2 cars. That makes him have to walk all the way around it. He's always thinking.
He's like
that's a businessman for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what makes Todd, you know.
Yeah. God.
But yeah, he had the car out in the lobby. Then we had that that huge panel. It was so nerve-wracking. Everybody in the panel, you remember at San Diego?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And they're all, I didn't know it was going to happen because I didn't look at the itinerary. So I'm like, and I have social anxiety, like really bad.
Oh, no.
And there was, I don't know how many people are in that room, but it was hundreds and hundreds. Yes. And of course, Todd's like, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's talking. And I got time for me to talk. And I just don't even remember what I said. All I knew is Jim Lee grabbed my mic and saved me.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then it came time for Sam to talk, and he was even more nervous than I was.
Oh, Sam's.
Yeah, I've heard Sam's kind of quiet, dude.
Say anything.
Yeah.
So Jim Lee had to explain his book for him. It was so weird. The panel was like the most confident person to the least, you know.
That's too cool. That's gotta be crazy though. I mean, you guys were rock stars in that time.
Yeah,
you know, if anybody's seen that documentary that came out, that Image Revolution documentary came out, it was pretty good. I see some people like Liefeld doesn't like it for some reason, information maybe that was in it, but the documentary itself was really good. And they absolutely paint the picture of the rock star persona that you guys in general were, just what Image was. That was just the excitement, and people just flocked to it like going to a fucking rock show when you guys were up there. I mean, you were damn rock stars. It's crazy.
I just never felt like that.
I know.
You know, I never felt like a rock star. It's weird. It's
weird
that's how there's that kind of perception, you know?
I think it's more or less just not how you guys were as people, but just the presence. You know what I mean? Like when you guys show up and you've got fans out the door around the block. Yeah, exactly. Like it's the rock star feel, you know. Rick Saylor for $5. Thank you, brother. He says PITT, absolutely best comic ever. I agree.
Thank you, Rick.
I absolutely agree. And I've said that before. PITT is my #1 favorite character and favorite comic book of all time, hands down, and that will never change, ever.
I'm starting to think I should do a PITT book.
You should.
It could do good.
Yeah, it might do okay. You might do all right with a PITT book. Yeah.
I'm thinking, why don't I have a PITT poster back here? I got this damn Spider-Man.
One Wicked Evo said, I remember waiting in line and freezing cold for about 3 hours to meet Liefeld. Yeah, like I said, like that's why people call them the rock stars, because people
Liefeld in the beginning, Liefeld was the biggest guy at Image. They had to have a separate signing for him. Yeah, because remember at Chicago they had a tent, this huge tent.
Yes,
remember that? Yep. And he had to go. They had to have a tent because the hotel couldn't handle that many people. So everybody outside, and then they had Liefeld for like an afternoon. Then that was over, and then everybody else filed in like the next day.
That's crazy.
Huge. I don't know. Good. They had air conditioning in a tent. It was like, remember that?
Yeah. Yes. I think the Chicago thing. What I remember more than convention, because convention is always such a blur to me. Yeah. So much is happening so fast. But it was the nightlife going to that 1 mile strip of bars, and it was just. I had a couple buddies. I'm not much of a drinker, you know, but they were just dragging me through all these bars, and it was like being in a movie. There's so much intensity in these bars, and hot chicks dancing and all that. Remember, there's this one that had a glass floor, like thick plexiglass. The dance floor was up top, so when you hang out in the bar below,
look up.
The whole thing was crazy, but just everything was happening besides the convention was really the whole thing was just
you're running into all these famous artists, you know.
Yes, yeah,
having a drink with so and this guy and the other guy.
I love hearing the stories from you guys when it comes to like the early days. The same thing with Art T-Bear has told some really fun just party stories back in the day. So like when you don't really think about you guys growing up, or at least I didn't obviously think about that aspect of life. I just thought about you guys as the artists or creators that were behind the books. But really when you guys got together, somewhat of the party life that existed at the conventions, it sounded fun as hell. Especially back in the like early 90s, mid 90s. When you guys would all get together. I mean, like that's
there was this sense of excitement that you just felt in your body. It's weird.
Yeah, the energy was
like you're floating. you know?
Yeah.
Especially thinking back, you know?
Dale, how long were you drawing Hulk? Like, what year did you break into comics and get your first book?
I started with Air Sail Comics, which is a black and white independent company, about 86, I think. Because the last thing I did was play bass in a band. And then I was like join another band. I think I was going to join a Heart cover band or something. And I was saying, yeah, I could do that. I like Heart. And then I found out there was a comic book company in the same city I was in. And I remember I brought some Fantastic Four submissions into this company, and everybody's going, "Oh, get down here! Look at this guy's work! Oh my god!" And I'm going, "What?"
Nice.
They hired me on the spot, and I was doing a book, being completely unqualified for it, just right into the fire, you know.
Yeah.
But it was fun though. I learned a lot doing that first book. That's what you got to do. You just got to do a book, you know, and just get into it and just have fun.
Yeah,
you will become a better artist. Joe knows.
No, yeah. I mean, no better experience than just getting out and starting to do it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep. You just got to do it.
I talk to a lot of people that don't want to do it until they're to a certain level. No. And I understand that because I used to have that mentality when I was younger as well. Like, I got to get to a certain level before I can start doing it because I don't want my stuff to look like shit. But really, you don't get the experience unless you're out there doing it. You almost at least making your own book.
Yeah, you almost have to do shit work. Like now I'm way more picky about my work, you know, especially with Comicsgate, because everything I do is like it's like instant. People just see it right away. And it's always being shown. So you better make sure it's damn good because you're going to have to see your own work over and over again. But sometimes I'm too picky though. You know, I'm like, I got to get it. You know?
No, that's actually a very good point because since you came into Comicsgate and you're doing covers for people, it's like almost as soon as we get a cover from you, just a sketch, we want to throw it up to be like, hey, check this out. Dale Keown covers coming soon. Like, here's the taste of it, you know. You don't even get to,
when you do stuff for Marvel, like once I do a cover, it's gone. I don't think about it anymore. And I might see it 2 months later, but in Comicsgate, it's like there it is, and there it is, and there it is, you know. So you better make sure you like it.
Yeah, can't get away from it.
Exactly, you can't get away from your work. Sometimes you want to get away from your work.
Hey Dale, you were talking earlier about sometimes you just got to jump in and whether the work's shit or not, just to learn.
Yep.
It's I had my career as a sign painter for 10 years straight, right? And
that's quite a discipline, man.
Yeah, and I was drawing and shit during all that still, and doing production art for silk screen shots, whatever. But I knew I wanted to have something to do with comics, right? So I went to the underground because I knew I couldn't draw good enough for Marvel. I just flat knew I couldn't. And cartooning is really more my thing rather than the semi-realistic comic book style. So I submitted to Rip Off Press, and on the first shot, they said, do it. This is great. Let's go for it. Right. Same guys that did Freak Brothers. And I spent 2 years and here's a point I want to make to some of the artists trying to get into the industry. Right.
Okay.
Sometimes I see just a little bit of I hate to use this word, but entitlement or high expectations. I'm going to tell you, I ate shit for 2 years. I'm talking like the shittiest food, like hot dogs and macaroni and cheese. I took the biggest. I was making good money as a sign painter, but I took a deliberate price, dive to commit to this time to practice. And it, granted, being the underground, they didn't expect much out of me like they would for Marvel, but it forced my hand. Pencils, inks, lettering. I did the whole book, front to back, 32 pages. I did like 5 or 6 books, but in that time, I learned so much that then I was just ready enough for you and Jim Valentino. You know, I wasn't going to pencil. I knew that. But the point is you got to sacrifice, man. It's some hard, nasty, shitty hours and time. Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight. You know?
Yeah, you're right. I think it's this generation of artists who just kind of I'm spoiled or something.
No, it is.
Like you said, sense of entitlement. Yeah, not all of them. I don't want to paint.
Exactly. we all know the kind of artists
we're talking about.
Yeah, we all know the kind of artists.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even Liefeld came out and said the same thing with some of the guys he's been working with.
Right.
That's right. Like he was like, some of the guys just seemed to, he wouldn't work with them again because they just seemed to have this entitlement. They didn't go through the rigors that you guys went through.
Well, yeah, I've had
back in the day. I mean, you guys, you had to come up. You had to prove your worth as you were coming up, and take the shit jobs, the shit comics, the shit storylines, and actually show what you could do. like that's earning your way up, you know, like
Yeah,
some
that means-
maybe
that
a
means,
generation now doesn't understand that.
That means you really want it. You have to really want it.
Yeah, if you're not eating 7-Eleven chili dogs, and then you ain't not paying your dues.
Yeah, going to the bathroom 4 times an hour.
But lots of pots of coffee. I remember that.
Yes. Oh God, still.
Jesus.
Well, I just quit smoking, so I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh yeah, congratulations by the way.
Usually when I'm doing a show, I'm like rolling. Like I usually mix tobacco and weed together.
Oh yeah. So are you still smoking weed though?
Well, no, I'm not smoking anything right now. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
really?
get down to baseline.
Yeah. Really?
And then I'll probably do some editables or something. Like
Get
that.
back in.
I just
Yeah,
don't want
gotcha.
to. I just don't want my, my lungs. Right. I'm an old guy.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, congratulations.
But
because
now
that's
I
a
got
hard thing to do,
a lot more
Yes.
energy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird how that works. Like one of my best friends just quit smoking. Has been hasn't smoked now for 2 years, and we were talking about it the other day, and he was saying the same thing. He's just like, I feel better. It's like I have more energy. You know,
Oh, your
I was
skin
like,
looks better.
yeah, like just all around. So that's
Plus,
awesome, man.
I had no appetite. You know, it takes away your appetite.
Yeah.
Oh, when you smoke,
I think my stomach's like this big now. You know, I got to stretch that puppy out. You know.
I'll tell you, Dale, when I quit about 15 years ago, because man, I smoked like crazy. I remember people complaining colors and shit, their scanners, when they got the pages, they smell like smoke.
Oh, nice.
You're like, no kidding. Oh, that's a
How
thing.
much
You're
you
absolutely
smoking?
right.
Trying to bail on that.
You're trying to Febreze the pages.
That's funny. I haven't even thought about that.
Dude, I've actually taken a piece of photocopy paper and sprayed Febreze on it, just so, and put it in the box, just to get a better
get
smell.
all of it.
So when they open the box, it's not like this.
Hey, Dale, you know what I noticed is that I'm not the best singer by any means, but I can never find anyone to sing decent for my band whenever I put one together.
Oh yeah, you're a musician.
Yeah,
all musicians here, by the way, guys, just in the chat, just so you know, all musicians.
505 PV.
Boom. Yes,
I have one.
Man, I can shred that thing. But when I quit smoking, and I talked to a pulmonologist about this, my breath capacity actually shrunk after quit smoking. Where normally you could sing like 2 lines like consecutive without taking a breath, whatever. And it was like cut in half. And even when I was like talking, I was running out of air. And he says what happens sometimes to some people, like this mucus shit starts building up as like this repair defense thing. But it's like this, and it actually got worse for me. He said that's why most people go back to smoking because of that breathing issue.
No shit.
Dry out your lungs, get more room in there.
I don't know.
That's weird. But does it come back again after like a couple years?
It hasn't come back that well, but better. But it really sucked because I was jamming with the band and I was like trying to, and I started like getting rushing out, like total lightheaded as I was normally going through, a series of lines. And I sucking in breath. I go, what the hell is going on here, man? But maybe it's better because I'm not that great of a singer anyway. So the less I sing, we're better off.
So when you hire a singer, you go, are you a smoker? No.
Yeah.
All right, next. We need a smoker. We got to hire a smoker.
You know, it's funny, like with the years I spent as a singer, I didn't really smoke at all. Smoked a lot of weed. But
your singing is.
Well, yeah, like the heavy metal stuff. But that's what I was going to say. Like I met so many heavy metal singers that chain smoked, which I guess worked good for that style because you want to rip your shit up anyway and just have that raw, gritty sound. But like I don't know if I could have done it with smoking. Like I had to take breathing exercises to learn how to hold your breath for so long because you do those incredibly long screams or you're doing those long verses where it's just pound, 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 pound.
Have you heard Joe singing, Chance?
No,
it's like hardcore, man. It's like,
it was actually
how you do that, man.
It's
like metal.
I used to be able to do the real deep guttural stuff. Like the older I get, and probably just the fact that I abused my voice for so long, and I haven't really sang that way in a while. Like I've lost the lower low tone of my voice, which kind of is weird because my voice is low anyway. Like I'm a little easier time hitting the highs, but like I think it's just what it takes to do that kind of singing. If anybody catches the beginning of the show, that long action intro, that's my band playing in the background. So that's my vocals. Yeah.
Damn.
Hardcore, right?
Yeah. That's
It's a good time, man.
That's how I was going. This music rocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to listen to Joe's music for a whole show. You can actually play it without trademark issues, right?
I can. Yeah. I mean, Sometimes though, and I don't know if anybody else has ever had this problem. I've played my own stuff before on a video, and I've got copyright claims because it sounds like another song, or and they get confused or something. I'm like, I have to fight them. Like, motherfuckers are like, that's my music. Like, I can do whatever I want with it.
Yeah, I've heard about that before.
Yeah, it's YouTube can be ridiculous sometimes.
Les Paul action.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what do you got there?
I don't know if it's
show it off.
But just got this yesterday. Now, Dale, I don't know.
Top.
Yeah, but this is a very special one. This is the classic series, right?
Yeah.
96. And these classics, they made at such a high level of quality. It is actually kind of the precursors to the R7s, R9s, and all that shit.
Yeah.
And this one is 26 years old. And I swear to God, when I pulled out, it's showroom ready. There's not a flaw anywhere on it. It sat in the case the entire time.
No, it's beautiful looking, man.
You didn't have to tweak the truss rod?
Oh, I do. I still have to do that. The truss needs some tweaking because there's a little bit of fret buzz in there. But actually, the neck was pretty straight. It's got a little, that'll be easily fixable. But what's mind blowing is that it's like, look at the back of this thing.
No buckle rash.
No buckle rash. It's just not a chip nick anywhere. But these, if you're ever looking for Les Paul, I've played many. I've owned 3 good ones, great ones. But these classics in the mid-90s series play amazing. That's all I can say.
It looks amazing. Look at it.
Yeah.
What did that set you back?
2,700, which was
sense.
a steal compared to. I can put that up against mostly as R9s any day. Those $8,000 things that they're raping everyone for.
That sounds like a price. Yeah, that sounds like a good price.
Yeah, it was a sweet deal because they really go for around 35 or so. To even 4, someone's a real fool. But, but I waited and waited. I kept watching Reverb and waiting and waiting.
Yeah, I do that.
And then boom, there was the right one, right year, right condition. Boom. So
where'd you have to buy
a shredder?
I don't know. I'm a rhythm. I'm more of a Hetfield guy.
Yeah, same. Me too.
Yeah, just I like the palm muting chugs. I love that.
I can't shred. I can shred a pentatonic scale.
Yeah, exactly. And sort of make it look like you're doing some fancy
So did you jump into Did you jump into guitar as well, Dale? Or just bass?
I have guitars.
Yeah,
because if you're writing music, usually a guitar. Like sometimes I'll write on bass. Yeah. A lot of times I'll just write a guitar riff and add a bass riff. But not like full songs. It's basically just to test out my plugins.
Right. Did the extreme success of PITT? This is my great interviewer question.
There we go. I love it. Go for it. Yeah.
Success of PITT, which filled your wallet, make you instantly want to start buying music gear.
Yes.
Get distracted from drawing because you got all this cool.
And you realize you like playing music better than drawing.
Yes.
But you don't get paid for the music.
No, you don't get paid for the music.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering about that because it sure did distract the hell out of me.
Suddenly you can afford this stuff.
Yeah.
You got a room full of guitars and amps and you spend all your time drawing anyway.
Yeah.
I started to play online, but I got to bone up on my skills first, I think. I think people should be able to jam on a live show,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think you can.
I don't think there shouldn't be any latency issues.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
because that's instant.
Well, they do during COVID, they did all those bands jamming separately. That was pretty cool.
That actually worked.
I think as long as you have the equipment or the program that can actually balance out the sound and everything. Right. So if you have a board or if you have an interface and you run everything through a program, you could probably do it on here. You could sound just perfect,
Oh yeah,
I need to figure that out because that'd be fun as hell. Like, because there's a lot of people within Comicsgate that are former musicians or are musicians that would be cool to have like just an online jam session. If you can make it work, make it sound good and everything lines up, nobody has a delay. Dude, I think that would actually be really cool.
Yeah, you bring in guest musicians and special guest star so and so. Steve Vai. What?
Yeah. He's a.
You never know. You never know.
Dale, did you get anyone like these high tier celebrity guys? Did you ever run into any of these guys and say, "Dude, I love your book"? Did you ever have one of those coincidental meets where you like some rock star or something that gets hold of you?
No, I mean none of I can remember.
Because
I know that Ice. I know. I think Ice-T has a PITT statue.
Oh, nice.
But it'll probably come to me after the show.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I still got my PITT statue in my living room, dude.
Yeah, I got a bronze.
Ah, nice.
Really?
Yeah.
That
thing will be around for like way longer than me.
Yeah, say forever. Yeah, I'll be.
It's so weird. I don't have any children to pass it down to. I don't know what I'm going to do.
You pass it down to me.
Okay, you got it, Joe.
Put me in your will.
The bronze goes to Joe.
Yes, score.
Maybe I shouldn't say that. Jeez.
Oh no, you said it right.
Legally
it's live.
yeah.
It's live. Yeah, I'm
no
gonna hold you to it.
Loads up the lawyers.
Yeah.
It is 11 o'clock. We're gonna do this cover reveal for everybody to stick around. But before
it's too bad Chiodo couldn't be here.
I know.
Yeah, I tried to get him on. I talked to him. It seemed like he was cool to come down, but the last time I talked to him, he was just kind of like, I'm, like a lot of people are. He's like, I'm a little bit shy when it comes to doing stuff like this. Yeah, and I told him, I was like, dude, that's completely understandable. No worries. Maybe in the future we could definitely get him on because he did an awesome job. Which I'm going to show the original here before we actually show the cover. But I just want to do a quick shot for everybody that's in the chat. We've been carrying, for the most part, high 90s to over 100 people in this chat. You guys are awesome. Seeing Dale and Chance together again is great. We're going to show you some work that be the first time they've worked on a cover together, probably since the PITT series. So this is going to be really cool.
But
so
Chance,
shout out.
Look at this shot glass. I got.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
All right. Cheers.
Here's my shot glass water.
Yeah.
Shots.
Pull it up.
Okay. So before I do, this is the original.
I'm stoked to see this. I haven't seen the final product.
That's the original pencil.
This is the original colored version of Joe Chiodo's art. Hand painted this, acrylics and color pencil. I had to print out the Dale's cover. I had to print it out on whatever paper that Joe wanted to use. And I sent this to him and he hand painted this. I got it back. It's so fucking beautiful having this in my collection.
Now for the actual cover, you trimmed it around the sides.
Yeah, I trimmed it up a little bit. And
I always do that. I always make everything too big so I can actually shift it and trim it. Find the sweet spot. You got to find the sweet spot,
I couldn't do so. The idea was to do the homage to PITT #1 because of just the different designs of the character. I couldn't do the crazy zoom in with my character's face because you pretty much lose the hood, if you're going to go that close to like what PITT was. So I pulled that out a little bit, so you can more see like just the headshot.
Yeah.
But all right, so here it is, guys. This is the recreation of the PITT #1 book. Where's my intro? Or where's my countdown? Where's my countdown? All right, here we go. Here we go.
Boom!
There it is. Boom.
That's beautiful.
God, that looks amazing.
Dude, I love how you adjusted the contrast to give it like more black.
Yeah. Shout out to Shelby Robertson. Helped me.
Wow.
I sent him the file and he messed around with it a little bit because he's like, hey, dude, let me tweak it a little bit for you. So he did that and he sent it back to me. And then I tweaked it just a little bit more to get the reds to really kind of pop out in the mask.
I love it. It says reaping first issue.
Yeah. You thinking that, Dale?
I just caught that.
That was Joe's idea, man.
Beautiful. My God.
So here's the iconic PITT splatter. And this was hand drawn by Chance Wolf to get the Reaper to look like the PITT splatter. And
now, are you going to use that every time now? Or are you going to play around with that?
I'm just going to use it for this.
Okay.
Because
PITT vibe.
Well, that's good.
I actually love
different options.
Yeah, I was just saying. I actually, when Chance sent this to me, I was like, "Fuck, I love that so much." Because if you guys didn't know, I actually had approached Chance a while back to see if he would do the actual logo for Reaper Destroyer. At the time, he was pretty busy, and so we didn't get a chance to do that.
But dude,
so it was awesome that he had the chance to do this, though, to do the mock-up of the PITT
like if
splatter.
that was sitting in a comic book shop, people would gravitate toward that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, by the way, whoever did the logo finally did an awesome job.
Yeah,
the original logo that I worked over.
Oh,
my
yeah.
my
That's-
old
I
colorist
love
Brian Valenza, his company did it, and
I love how the
was
two
pretty happy with it.
R's are the same, but they're
Yes, they reversed the R's. It was fantastic.
that's so symmetrical. Beautiful.
Yeah, they nailed it, man. It was real, and it's so easy to play off of recreating with the PITT splat. But I was sitting there when he asked me to do it. I go, God, do I still got it in me? You know, pull this off.
I asked myself.
I knew you did. I knew you did.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't, I was gonna be like, do it anyway. Do it anyway.
That cover is
Joe.
beautiful.
That's beautiful. Really.
Man.
Thank you. And thank you guys. I mean, like, this is an absolute dream come true to have this cover from you guys. You know, like my favorite comic is PITT. You guys all made PITT happen together and jammed on it. And to have everybody, including Chiodo, come through. And the cool thing about this was when I approached everybody, when I approached Dale, when I approached Chiodo, when I approached Chance, Dale was all about it. He's like, that's great, let's do it. You know, and he just did this incredible drawing of Reaper Destroyer. And then I approached Joe Chiodo, and he was just like, he's like, dude, I love Dale. He's like, if Dale's doing it, he's like, I'm down. Let's do it. And like, that's all it took. I was just like, hey, Dale did this cover. I'm doing an homage to PITT #1. I want you to be a part of it because, you know, you were a part of the original as well. And I had just tremendous respect for all you guys. And he was down like that. And then when I approached Chance, I was like, dude, I got this, drawn by Dale, colored by Joe Chiodo. I want you to do this mock-up, you know, logo. And he was down too. And that's all it took. It's just the fact that you guys were involved in it. And it dawned on me that this was the first time that the three of you had really jammed together on the cover since 1993 or since the PITT era, you know? So to me, that made it even more special. Like, and it's my cover. And I got this. So just fanboying out here for a second, since I got you guys on the stream and, you know, the cover's being revealed.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Just want to say thank you guys for all the hard work. This is
man.
Absolutely beautiful looking.
The guy said it's fucking metal, man. It is metal.
It is.
Metal. That's a metal cover.
It was cool just to do anything associated with Dale again. I was like, okay, this is cool. Talk about a time warp, you know.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna have a real ego problem when I leave this show.
No, that is
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Maybe I need it.
So was that done in, that was just done in pencil form and scan?
Yeah, just pencil.
Nice.
I have the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
I gotta get that from,
yeah.
I gotta get that from you one of these days.
Yeah, I'll have it for you.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I've got the scan. I got one of the scans. Oh, you can't see it on my screen, but I've got one of the scans I put up there because it scanned really nice. Like it printed. Yeah. It printed out very nice when I printed it onto the paper I printed. Too. Yeah, and it was just like, fuck, it looks so damn good.
I love scanning my own stuff. I mean, I've had so many disasters with other people scanning my stuff. It's nice to have the control.
I bet.
So,
you know, when I went out, I bought my own printer so I could scan my own stuff and I could print the stuff I wanted to print for working. And it's so much better than, I remember I went to FedEx because I used to have to go to FedEx for them to scan my work so I could put it on a zip drive so that I could bring it back and then just, you know, save it on the computer. And there was this one time, there was this older dude, bless his heart, nice guy, took my original pencils. As he was going over to the scanner, he drops it and he instinctually goes to grab it, right? And he like traps it against his leg. And when he brings it back up, there's just this tiniest little bit of crease. Where where the impact of his hand went. And I was just like, fuck. I couldn't be mad at the dude because he was old, but at the same time, I was like, damn it.
Like, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Which means our age, Dale.
Yeah.
This guy was at least, you know, 7.
He's at least.
Rick Saylor for 5. Thank you, brother. Said this cover is amazing. You guys killed it. Congratulations, Joe, Dale, and Chance, and also Chiodo as well. Thank you guys. Appreciate this. So real quick, this is up. This is updated now on the campaign. This is showing on the campaign. The art is up there. If you already backed the Destroyer tier, this is already included. You didn't have to do anything. This is just the unveiling of the finished art, you know, because when Dale originally did it, we launched it with just a sketch as a preview of it coming soon. So this is up there. It's ready to go. If you have backed the campaign and you haven't backed Dale's cover yet, there was a secret link I sent out a while ago, probably went to the spam, that you could get the cover without having to pay extra shipping, so we could just add it to your order. If you don't have that, or you haven't if you haven't seen that yet, hit me up and I can get you the link again, so you don't have to pay more for the cover, and you can just add it to your already previous order. But otherwise, yeah, this is up. This is ready to go. You can back it now if you want. On there's a link below in the comment, or not the comment section, the information section down below for Reaper Destroyer. I see people dropping links in the comments as well. And yeah, so just this is fuck. I'm just so incredibly excited, almost for a loss of words here. Just sitting here with you guys talking about this is
hey Dale, I want to put you on the spot. So how am I going to get a signed copy of this in my hands? With your signature.
Oh yeah. Well,
I got to figure. I need your address.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think there's definitely something that we can work out with that for sure. And I'll make sure that everybody who worked on this book is going to get comps of what they did. I'm going to make sure of that. I actually told Chiodo that, and he was like, "Oh, cool." He's like, "I haven't got comps in years." I was like, "Oh," it's like, "Well, I'll definitely send you something."
Me neither.
Yeah,
I love a good comp.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's when it's all said and done, this printed, it's out there. I make sure everybody that worked on this has their versions of the book, at least a few. Elliot Rodriguez for 6 says, "I can't stick around, but I wanted to say hello to Joe, Dale, Chance, and the motherfucking chat. The cover looks amazing. Awesome work. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you."
Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you.
Zayd Comics Phil says, "Damn, that is wicked."
Hey, Phil.
You know what's funny about Phil? Like I told
a lot.
Yeah. I told Phil about this idea a while ago when we were on a show together. I can't remember if it was my show or somebody else. Oh, it's my show. And we were just chilling out in the chat or backstage after the show had ended. And I told him the idea I had to do with your cover. And I was already thinking of it, but this is how much that Phil thinks the same way and knows the PITT #1 cover so much. He was like, "Dude," he's like, "you have to make sure that whoever does the logo also puts reaping first issue." And I told him, I was like, "Dude," I was like, "that's exactly what I was planning on doing. Like, instead of ripping first issue, I was like, I wanted that reaping first issue."
Oh, that's great.
So that it was just boom, the exact homage to PITT #1, and it came out great. It came out, and I still might do a little bit of adjusting on this cover before we go to print. I mean, there's plenty of time before we actually go, but this is just a mock-up cover so that everybody could see what the final version is going to look like, including if you look up here, I've got, just like in PITT #1, because PITT #1 had the cover up here in the Image logo.
Yeah.
So I shrunk this down, threw it up here too. It's the only cover that's going to have that in the Superior Press logo. So I tried to do everything I could to make it like the best homage I could to PITT #1.
I don't know. Every time I do a signature, it looks like an ego signature. Like
that's what I love about
giant,
it.
because I start
Look
doing
at it. It's huge.
And by the time I'm finished, it's like I'm outlining it. It's almost the size of the figure. It's like, well, you have an ego problem, dude.
Hey.
I tried to make it small. It didn't look great.
I know. I mean, that's what I like about it, because it's cocky, right? It's the attitude.
Yeah, it's like, look at my wings.
It's the attitude, right? that we got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dale, were you pretty much all brush on PITT 1?
Yeah, #2 pure sable.
See, that blows me away that was brush.
Like, but I had a really good brush. You know how once in a while you get Chance knows about good brushes, where you get a really good brush and it keeps its point. And you're taking care of it. You're like licking it, and you got the thing. Oh yeah, because those things are expensive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like every time I go into an art store, I'm looking at the point. I got a magnifying glass. I go, "What's that guy doing?" Because you got to make sure you buy a good one.
Dude,
now I use that like a quill and stuff, so that kind of helps. I mean, a quill.
See.
A quill is kind of hard to work with because when you put down a line, it takes forever to dry.
Yeah.
So like you got to work on this part of the page, and this part of the page, and you can't put your hand there. But a brush dries really quickly. But the thing about a brush is when you erase the pencils, it erases a lot of the ink.
Yeah.
It's like a trade-off.
Really?
That's absolutely. I switched to quill somewhere about my Shadowhawk 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Everyone said you got to use these 102 nibs, and it was bizarre to me because I was all brush,
Yeah.
And I had a difficult time with it for quite a while, just trying to get it down until it took a while. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, and I got about 3 out of 10 that would work on those damn boxes.
Damn, yeah. Once in a while you get
be good.
Or once in a while it's like you're using the quill, right? You're doing, and then the quill kind of dulls a bit. So you got to get a brand new quill, and that's for the detail work. And sometimes you get one where the little teeth aren't really matching up. So you're like, you just break it in half and throw it away.
Chuck it over the shoulder. Yeah.
Like they're not created equal.
No, they aren't. Those things are mass produced. But yeah, it took a bit. And I kind of regretted getting weak on my brush skills.
That's the way I feel right now. I can still do it, but I'd have to bone up on it a little bit.
Right.
There's something about just the action of your wrist.
Yeah.
Pivoting, you know.
The goddamn 102s ended up giving me the carpal tunnel right here, and it knocked me out of comics.
Really?
Oh, no shit. Really?
I when I went down to work for Todd, that's
just gripping it. Gripping?
Yes, those shitty little plastic holders.
Yeah.
We're not ergonomic. It's like pinching on a really hard doobie, right?
Yeah.
And that muscle right there tensions. But after 2 years working on Spawn projects, because all that detail, the Todd line of deals.
Oh yeah.
The last one I was doing, it got so painful I couldn't work more 3 to 5 minutes without it feeling like a nail going through. I had to bail. I had to call Todd and say I'm done.
Wow.
So how are you now?
Oh, it's good because it's years past, and I'm pretty much all digital now. So it's these nice, digital pens.
Yeah, they got a big,
but I don't know if I can ink anymore like traditional.
Yeah, there's a lot of inkers going.
Well, you look at some guys, they wrap tape around it, so it's a big thick. I can see why they would do that.
It was too late for me though, because I did use those sponge things, but it's too late because Todd goes, well, you could try this or that. I go, Todd, I've tried it all. I mean, you don't call Todd McFarlane quitting if you haven't tried everything under the sun.
Exactly.
Before you tell him, sorry, Todd, I'm out. Yeah, that sucks.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, that does suck, man. Sorry to hear that.
I was, to be honest, I make decade career changes. And I got to be honest, after, counting the underground almost 10 years, I was kind of toasted, I needed a new creative challenge, and that's where building the magic tricks and shit came in.
Right. That's some pretty amazing stuff. Yeah, you really switched gears there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Then I went to building those ventriloquist figures and ended up building like top guys, So
I'm surprised you don't have a bunch of that stuff behind you. That would be...
It's all in front of me.
Oh, it is?
I was about to say, I'm sure you got a ton of that.
Look around.
There you go. There you go. Wait, hold on a second.
Oh my God,
keep it there.
Keep it there.
There we go.
There's some there.
Look at that.
Not all of these are mine.
Cool.
I collect a lot of them.
Look
but
at
this one's over there is up in the shelf. So
wow.
That is so cool, man.
That is cool.
And there's the Les Pauls over there. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God. Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. I love that so much.
But I'll tell you what's cool about Dale, as an artist and engineer now, I guess, because all the magic shit.
Yeah.
When you build these puppets, it's design. You draw them out first, then sculpt. You sculpt them, then you get I cast and mold them, and then you get to paint them, and then do the mechanics. You've tapped out every bit of artistic, everything in you as an artist from every medium to the max. So it's really rewarding, man.
Yeah, I could absolutely.
I think I need to make a PITT.
Gratifying. Yeah, dude.
Yes, you should do that.
Big teeth.
Yeah.
Big teeth and gums, like Malin says. You gotta have those gums in there.
Oh yeah.
Texas Mofo says, Joe, which tiers again are automatically going to receive the kick-ass cover? So if you got the Destroyer tier, which is the everything tier, then you get this cover automatically, no matter what. So if you already spent money on that tier, it's the biggest tier we have. It was $200, and it comes with everything that we put out on the campaign. You guys are set. Otherwise, there is a separate tier just under the Dale cover, and there's a secret tier if you're already backed, or if you have already backed the campaign that you should have already received back when we dropped the Dale cover back in June. I think June 15th is when we dropped the cover. Mm-hmm. If you don't see that, if you can't find that in your email, just hit me up, DM me on social media, and I can resend it. To do everybody there, so you don't have to pay extra shipping. But so yeah, just answer you guys' questions.
Cool.
Yes, exactly. Yep, you got that, then you are good to go, my friend. Absolutely. So let me bring that off for a second. So you brought up the ventriloquist. Ventriloquy stuff. Yeah. What made you get into that? Because I see if anybody follows you on Facebook, you post a lot of the stuff you do when it comes to like the puppets or whatever as well. And it's just very fantastic work.
A buddy of mine had a couple of these higher end ones. Like it's just like anything. You got the crap, then you got the upper tier. And when I seen him, it was like 3-dimensional cartooning to me, right? And character design. So I just thought, well, anyways, the process was I got to try it. And once I tried it, it took off. I committed to my normal company of Magic to do a line of them, and it hit the market. It's a small niche. I mean, Magic's a niche in itself, but then you get to ventriloquist. But it took off. I mean, I hit it like wildfire, and then all of a sudden I had like the Vegas, Terry Fader got hold of me and built a bunch of puppets for him, and just finished one up for Copperfield of this character Fats from the old movie Magic. So
yes.
Yeah.
Now, how long does it take you from start to finish? Depends on the puppet.
Right. Yeah, it does depend on how many animations they want, motions, all that. But basically, from start to finish, it's for a custom one of a kind. It's about 2 months.
Right. What do you sculpt it with?
Crazy.
What do you sculpt it with?
It's called Monster Clay of all things.
Really?
And Dale,
can you buy that? Can you just buy it in a?
Yeah. Just look up Monster Clay. You would love this shit. I'm telling you, you've got to try to get into this.
Yeah, I love it. I used to do that all the time.
This stuff is amazing because it's like it's a wax-based clay, I think. So at room temperature, it hardens a little softer than a candle, right? But if you take it like a lamp, you can just heat up your bowl of it, and just soften it. So you come in and have soft bits or harder. But it's best to build like a styrofoam thing underneath armature, and then build on it. But I would love to see you sculpt this because it has this right hardness where you can just cut into it, and it doesn't dry out. It'll just sit there. And if you ever do anything,
but how do you cure it? You have to
cast it for you. What's that? No, it never cures. It's simply for making molds of, and then you just melt your shit down and use it again. But yeah, if you ever get into any clay stuff, you just let me know because I will cast it for you. I'll do that at no charge, man. I'll make it a cast.
Dude, that's awesome.
Because they're cast out of a urethane at the end, and then you have to do a little prep work, and then you paint them.
That's so cool. The end result is so great.
Yeah, you'd really.
You can get kind of like as detailed as you want, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And they use these texture pads that they got, like a silicone. You press and you get skin textures or hair textures or whatever you want, But the detail is, look at Monster Clay, then the samples that other artists do, and you'll go, okay, I'm there.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
probably some how-to videos on YouTube.
Yeah, and it's amazing. So it's the shit all the pros are using now, and it's affordable. It's like $25 or $40 for I think like $25 for a 5-pound tub, which is more enough to do any full-size head sculpture or whatever with the armature underneath it. No problem. I'll tell you more details about that. If you ever get into it, I'll give you a quick crash course.
Oh, I would appreciate that. So you have like a special studio where you do it?
Yeah. I got a section in my shop. Yeah. Because we got a big ass shop for our Magic. It's on our property.
Oh, I can imagine.
So there's a big shop, and then I got a little shop in the big shop inside where I do all the puppet shit.
Little shop in the big shop of horrors.
Oz Art Creation says, "I love your art, Dale."
Thank you very much.
And there was
Taskmaster.
Dominic Powell said, "It might have been years since seeing your artworks, Mr. Wolf, but I'm happy to see you still being active, even if it's outside of comics." And then he asked what got you into puppets, but I'm pretty sure you just kind of answered that question. But yeah, I thought that was a really cool comment.
Just personal interest.
Yeah.
Hail Green Laser. That's why I was saying, like at the beginning of the stream when we started streaming, I was like, Chance does a little bit of everything. We were talking about comics, like yes, but just outside of comics also does. Did I see you doing some animation too?
Yeah, I'm working on that with our Surf Sharks property, which is a
really
series.
Yeah.
We just finished up. I just finished up all the stuff for a gaming app for children. It's called Surf Sharks. Is where kids ride sharks that are all hot rodded up with surf paint jobs. And we did the children's books a few years ago. My wife and I created them, and so we figured, well, the only way to get this really well known and get the animation deals and all that is to go and make a game app, right? Where that's free. So now these kids can download it. So. Yeah, I just worked on it, did all the cells. Now they're doing the actual technical animation, but I'm doing all the cells and breakdowns of parts. But I did some of my own animation here in my own programs as well. But yeah, so I'm dabbling in that.
That's gotta be very gratifying.
Yeah, I was about to say like that is super cool.
Oh, that was big time, Dale.
Oh God, yeah. Because I remember I was doing some stuff in like 3D animation, and I said, "Oh my God, I really like this." Yeah, I was almost scared to go further because it would take away from my drawing, because I kind of liked it better. Yeah, like just doing like 3D, like the geometry and the textures and the rendering.
Right.
But it was really cool to see your stuff come to life.
Absolutely. I'm surprised you didn't delve in, like get lost in it.
I almost did.
Yeah.
But it also those programs like Maya is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a real commitment.
Yeah, it is. And a lot to learn.
I think I was using Lightwave or something. You know that one? That wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Good.
Khan's comic pitch stop. Should say that 10 times fast. Said, Chance, do you have a YouTube channel? That's an interesting question.
I was gonna ask.
I could be taking advantage of some of the shit, but I'm too busy to keep track of all the social media stuff. I just pretty much use Facebook.
Well, yeah, 3 of us should do a show like once every couple of weeks or something.
Yeah, we should.
Talk about music.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been wanting to do another show where it's music based.
Yes.
Just talk about rock, talk about metal, because specifically because a lot of us have had the experience of being in bands, being musicians. I thought that would be awesome. So I would love to start something like that because
there really isn't anything like that.
Yeah,
no, there isn't.
We would be the people to do it.
Yeah. I said we do it.
And there's
chat, if you want us to do a show like that, put a 1 in the chat and let us know, because I would absolutely love to do that. That would be badass.
Then I could show you guys some of my butt rocker pictures from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got a few.
I can start showing people what I look like when I used to have long hair, and headbang.
Yeah, I used to do the eyeliner and the.
Oh yeah, big hair.
Spandex.
I still kept the hair hiding back here, but I can't cut it off because I feel like all my talent will fall on the ground like
Samson. Dude,
it's all in the hair. It is, man. It is.
Yeah.
It took me forever to cut my hair, and basically because I started losing my hair, but I would have kept my hair for forever. I was so devastated when I had to cut my hair. It was the Samson effect. Absolutely. It absolutely was.
I don't feel right playing a guitar with short hair. Well, a lot of guys can pull it off, but it doesn't work for me when I'm playing live or something. And if my hair's, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
When I joined Mind Enemies Fall, when I was still in my early 20s, I was like, I'm growing long hair because I can't be in a metal band and headbang without having that fucking long hair. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It's just like. You ever see that video of that baby parrot doing Ozzy Osbourne
or Jim Carrey on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, baby, don't hurt me.
Yeah,
no more. Yeah.
It seems like it
would look so much better with long hair.
It seems like it's a popular opinion. I see a lot of ones in the chat, so we'll definitely have to work on something like that because that would be cool. You do comics and music and all that. They really kind of go hand in hand. I met so many people.
Oh yeah.
That collect comics are also musicians or just are super into music as well. Like,
sure.
I mean, really, because when you think about it, when you're a kid, or at least when I was a kid, and I would be reading my comics, I'd be sitting in my room reading comics, and I'd have my favorite music going on at the same time. Whatever band I was into at the time was playing as I was into the comics. So it went hand in hand.
Yeah, it created a little your own world.
Yeah. Dominic says, Mr. Keown, do you incorporate any digital art programs with your traditional pencils?
Yes, I do the hybrid. I can't stop doing just traditional pencils.
Yeah.
So I'll do like
I'm glad.
I get it pretty tight, bring it down, scan it, bring it into Photoshop, and then I ink it in Photoshop. I add all the solid blacks and I use a little airbrush. I try to do like a hybrid.
Yeah.
Of pencils and inks. That's what I've been doing so far. Sometimes I'll actually ink something. Like that's what I'm trying to do now. But your inking hand gets you know what I mean?
Out of practice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you ink so much different than you draw. I think that's the thing. Like the technique for inking is completely different from what you would do for drawing. And that's one of the things that has kind of kept me from wanting to ink my stuff full time. I enjoy inking, and mostly I do it with a pen because I suck with a quill and I suck with a brush. So I have to do it with a pen. But you still have to do it in a completely different way than you pencil. It's almost like you have to get out of the mindset, and so you can get into the mindset of inking.
Yeah, they're different.
Oh, absolutely. Dale, let me ask you something. On your gradient lines back in the good old PITT days when you're using brush, when you did those gradient lines go thick to thin, they start to separate. Yes. Were you moving quick on those, just keeping the spontaneity going, or how did you?
No, I've seen artists do it where they use their arm, but I have like from here to here.
Yeah.
I have long fingers, so I could do it like that.
You just use your wrist?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Because there's quite a distance between here and here.
Yeah.
So I have a nice arc. Yeah, it's all arcing.
I have to use my arm. I have to throw my arm. when I'm well. It depends
Sometimes
on
I will do
it
that.
depends on the size of area that you're working with, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like that's the only way I can kind of get a nice, quick, steady line is to do it fast. If I do it slow, and then my hand kind of jerks around a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I find if I get sore, it's going to be where I pivot. You know,
Right.
Okay.
Man, Dale, could you imagine back in '93 and up if these existed and the internet? How much just phones, high-res cameras, well, especially with girlfriends, but high-res cameras and everything. That all the information that we would have been able to record back then, and all the history that we could have, you know, captured. That we just There's so
much video you could have taken.
I know, it's all in the ether. It's just all in our memories.
And once we're gone, those memories are gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the technology thing is really weird. I mean, even with my generation, you know, I'm 40 years old, and even when I was coming up in the 90s, Sean, my my co-host on Ott and stuff, we've talked a bunch of times. Like, could you imagine if when we were young, when we were like 10, 11 years old, trying to learn how to draw, if we had like access to YouTube and all these things where you watch people draw and do all these visual instructions, you know, like how much we could have improved in our youth at drawing, because I was much more of a visual guy. Watching someone draw, I learned way more than reading a book with illustrations and an explanation, like how to draw the Marvel way or any kind of the how-to books. Never did too much for me. But the moment I saw like Stephen Platt put out that Gnome or whatever DVD he did in the 90s, David Fincher one as well.
Yeah,
as soon as those came out and you got to watch somebody go from start to finish and explain why they were doing it.
Yeah, it demystifies it.
Boom. Yeah, I was like, it opened my mind.
It's
I was like, oh shit, I know how to draw.
It's like looking at the behind the curtain and seeing Oz.
Yeah,
but you do learn a lot that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I learned the most doing it that way.
Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't see other artists work in the early days, because I would compare myself. I would compare myself. It was almost better to work in a little bubble.
Good point.
So that you got to the point.
Because you absolutely do.
Because it might discourage you in the beginning.
You're 100% right. I mean, when I was younger, even when I started drawing again in 2015, after not drawing for 10 years, I would go back to the people.
10 years?
Yeah, I hadn't drawn for 10 years, from 24 to 34, 25 to 35.
It was all music.
It was all music. You know, I did art for the band, but it was mostly like Photoshop and things of that nature. I didn't do a lot of like hand drawn stuff.
Right.
So to get my skill back after 10 years of not drawing, I just went back to what I'd learned and tried to get, you know, I sucked when the first thing I drew, I was just like, fuck, I forgot how to draw. You know, and I would go back and start studying the artists that I love, you know, Dale, Silvestri, Lee, all these guys. I get back into my comic books and start, you know, studying lines again. And I did that for a while, of comparing myself, you know, and I had to stop doing that after a bit, because I would constantly compare myself to my heroes. I was like, you can't do that, because you are your own artist. It's your own style. You have to start becoming comfortable with your style, you know, what you learn, what you put into it, how you want to draw. And I'm never going to be this person or that person, but I can be the best me. Cheesy as it sounds, best me that I can be, you know.
It sounds like I help. Yeah, I
was just about to say, like, I
know what you mean, though. Yeah. I still do that, though, because there's so much. I mean, especially CGS has great artists in it, you know. You think my stuff's going to be beside theirs, so it better look
1,000%.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
It keeps you on your toes, you know.
It does, and I talked about this. I can't remember if I talked about yesterday's stream or not, but the competition factor for me is friendly competition, right? You have friendly competition, because healthy competition, because you are in this community or whatever you want to call it with CG, but there are phenomenal talents of artists within, you know, talking about like the big names, the big dogs, the former professionals or professionals, whatever you want to call it, they're here. And then just going down to guys like me who are just amateur or doing this for the first time. There's so much talent. So I see so much work come out from people that inspire me and make me want to be better, right? So like somebody drops a new piece of art and I'm just like, fuck, that's so good. You know, like that's my first thought. I'm like, damn, that's so good. Yes, and I'm like, all right, I gotta do better. I gotta do something better than that.
Well, I mean, you're a better artist now, having done the first Reaper.
Yes.
I mean, you must feel that. You must feel
yeah. I mean,
through like some artistic breakthroughs, you know.
Yes. I've had like
that's why that looks like that, you know.
Yep. I've had probably at least 3 or 4 3 or 4 since I started drawing the comic book where I've had, just recently over the last few months, I added something new to my rendering style that I really started to like that I hadn't been doing before.
Yeah,
it was just one of those things where like now I'm just very excited about this new way I'm rendering. Still looks like me, the comic's gonna look fine, but artists will be able to see like the subtle things I'm changing about how I render out the image. So yeah, I mean it's always learning, always
even a guy like Silvestri, his new stuff it looks like Silvestri, but it's different. Like, it's like it's like he upped his game, if you can believe it, It's not even possible.
Well, that's what impressed me so much about Silvestri, and why Silvestri and you, Dale, are my 2 favorite artists. And it's gonna always be that way because you guys have constantly gotten better. There's never been like that slack off that I've seen where there's certain artists that will change their style for whatever reason, maybe because they're tired of doing the detail or it's taking too long, or they give up, they lose the passion.
It has to be important to you.
Exactly. And then you see the guys that constantly improve. Same thing with Brett Booth. That dude just keeps getting better and better. Like every time you see him.
And stuff.
I haven't seen Dan's stuff in a while.
Oh, wow. Dude, he took it to this whole nother level of almost a little Jack Davis touch to it,
Yeah.
But it's a whole new like non-image style.
I've noticed.
It's
absolutely
it's cool. Yeah. How do you say is it Panosian or Panosian?
Panosian?
I always said Panosian, but I don't know if that's right.
I mean, I've talked to him on the phone a few times. I don't remember. I don't think I ever asked him how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, he's a super cool cat.
He would never correct you. He's a nice guy,
But his this new style it's fabulous because it's just not comic, but it's hard to explain. It almost has some Mort Drucker, Jack Davis.
Yeah, I was going to say Mort Drucker, man.
Yeah, a little Mort Drucker.
But yeah, his inking hand is strong.
Yeah, I know.
Like you can just tell that he just like does like kind of a rough pencil, and then everything's in the ink.
Just in the ink, and
just so confident.
Yeah, and to reinvent himself that dramatically and just wham, I think that's fantastic.
I love the way he inked PITT. He inked pick 1/2, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think didn't he also do 10? I think he did. He did at least 10, issue 10, I think.
Right. That's right. That's what I was. Yeah, you're right. I can't remember. It's such a long time ago.
Yeah, I was just saying, if I remember correctly,
other people remember way more than I do.
Well, I just remember because I used to, I would live with the names in the credits, so I'd always be looking at who drew it, who inked it, because a lot of times if a new inker came onto a project of an artist that I loved, I would tend to be like, oh, I like this inker now. Like I'm gonna start making sure I pay attention to his name, popping up, and I would just follow that person as well. And so anybody that jumped on that book, I was just like, okay, I know who Chance Wolf is, Joe Chiodo. I already knew who Joe Chiodo was. And
you even bought some of his style guide or his color guides, right? Is that you?
Yeah, I've got.
But yeah, it's so weird. I always wondered, like, he spent so much time on those color guides. Just, they didn't. You could print those.
Oh, you can. Yeah, you absolutely can.
I like them better than the Ollie Optics. I thought the Ollie Optics stuff kind of brought it down.
Yeah,
it did. It absolutely did.
Move fairly quick because that's a lot.
Thank you, Christopher. Got a new member of the channel, Christopher Johns. Appreciate you. Welcome to the Superior Court. Appreciate it, brother. Let me see if I can find that. I've got it up here in my collection. The color guide to PITT. I think it's issue 6, issue 5. I'll see you all soon.
Hey, Dale.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, when you had to give up the inking chores on a lot of that PITT stuff, probably for time constraints, but did you hand pick them for the most part, the inkers?
Yeah.
When Scott came in, Williams and
I even used Joe Rubenstein once. He inks quite a bit. Yeah.
Right.
They're just like Joe I worked with before. I would just I had their numbers, I guess.
Yeah.
They just happened to be free at the time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
that'd be hard, is all I'm saying, because you got to get somewhat that chemistry and everything, to nail it, and everyone has a different hand.
Everybody,
but
I usually just like whatever, just do your own thing, And usually if you give an inker that kind of freedom, he's not going to be constipated and like, be so careful. Because I've sent my work to inkers where they're very intimidated by my pencils. Like
I can imagine.
Because they're so almost too tight. They actually want more something that's a little more loose.
Yeah.
So they don't tense up and it looks like labored.
I've heard that from just talking to guys like Weems and Bat and some of the other guys I've worked with, like a little bit of more looseness to the art, so that gives them some room to play with. And I was like, that's cool, man, because I could draw super tight if I wanted to, but I can also spend a little bit less time and draw a little loose, knowing that you're going
nowadays you can even just
make
do
a
like
badass
blue line and just print it out darker, just adjust the color.
Yeah. Yep.
So different. That's the thing about the technology we have now versus then,
Oh, so many tricks.
Jeez.
From an inker standpoint, I got to tell you, I think the best inkers are actually a really good artist too. They could draw.
Yes, 100%.
They're gonna, and all of them I think prefer that looseness for that exact reason that you can move a little more spontaneity to them. When I get the super tight pencils, I did some stuff over Randy Queen, and it was so tight, it was literally tracing. And it was
right, yeah, exactly.
It was all dark. It was all there. I go, just scan. Well, I don't. Yeah, scan the pencils and adjust them.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to be able to make it your own.
Yeah,
put your stamp on it.
Over. If you've seen what Todd and I got for Spawn, you'd be surprised. And it's Greg did this intentionally because he knew Todd could draw, right? And so but it was real light-handed, beautiful stuff. But he put in 5 ticks on a rock, knowing we're going to put 50 or 100 on it, right?
I know exactly.
Yeah,
100%.
So it was
like a shorthand.
Yeah, he knew we could figure it out, and then it became, I had to mimic Todd the best I could, but it just was so much better than the tight pencils.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly what you mean, man.
We've got a 5-month member chat from Tarks9 says, "Hail Comics Gig." Hail to you, brother. Appreciate you. That's what I love about the relationship between pencilers and inkers when you actually work and have that working relationship with another artist, because they can bring out the best in the piece. Like you said, that's a perfect example. Capullo and you guys. Also, I mean, there's been times where I've sent some kind of loose stuff when it came to rendering to like Weems, and I knew Weems was going to render it the way he wanted to anyway. Right. So I wouldn't spend all the crazy amount of time going on these perfect rendered lines and cross hatching. I would just indicate what I was doing, where the light sources were, and coming out of it, because I knew that he would do his version of the cross hatching and rendering, and it would look better than what I was doing anyway. Yeah. And that, to me, that's exciting. When you can just do that and send it in, it's going to come back looking the way you wanted it to look anyway, because the guy you're working with is that damn good. Yeah, that's common.
You don't have that on your mind. You just knowing. I mean, I'm anal retentive though. I will like when I do a cover, I'll do the pencils, I'll digital ink it, and I'll even fill in the flat colors just to make sure that there's no mistakes. Like nice. I'm really anal retentive. Like, I got to do the flat colors. I know I do it for free too.
I do the same thing, Dale.
Yeah,
exactly. I love these indie guys because I'm not a high profile. I was never a penciler, right? But they give me a chance now to pencil and ink covers on these indie books. And I do exactly the same with you. Because they're colors, I have to put the flats in because it's just like,
because if it doesn't look good at that stage, it's not going to look good.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah. 1000%. Henry Bemis said, Art T-Bear can draw like a beast. He can.
Yes.
Besides being a just fantastic inker, he's also a great artist as well.
Yeah.
You can.
If you see a lot of the later run of X-Men before Jim Lee jumped to Wildstorm, like Foley, like there was a lot of finishes that Art was doing over Jim Lee, and you really couldn't tell the difference. That's how good it was. Like that's how good he was of making that comic work.
Yeah, he's a legendary inker, man. He's incredible.
Oh yeah, absolutely is.
Yeah.
Here's the update on the campaign page. The cover is now up officially on the page. I'm excited about that, to get this up here. If anyone is backing this book, just so you know, when you go down here to the actual Dale cover, which is right here, it's still going to show the preview picture, because you can't change these once you set a tier in motion for the campaign. So this is just the way it's going to look. But this is it. You are going to be getting this cover if you get this. If you got the Destroyer tier, which has everything, including that badass exclusive to this tier full foil ash can, you will also get the Dale cover automatically. So I want to bring that up real quick for anybody in the chat that's wondering. Yeah, it's turning out great, and we still have guys. If you haven't bagged this book or this campaign, or if you have, we still have the colors to reveal of this that Kyle Ritter's working on. He's a very busy dude working on a bunch of stuff, but he's trying to hammer these out. And I told him, I was like, dude, just take your time. No rush. People have backed it. People are going to continue to back it. We'll have the reveal when that actually comes through, because that is just looking absolutely gorgeous from just some of the flats and some of the work that I've seen come through already. It's just looking great.
I bet he appreciates that.
Oh, I'm absolutely
easy.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to work with the guys I work with. Yeah, and Kyle's great. Kyle is an absolute joy to work with, man. Yeah,
he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, he is. All right, guys, we are going to get out of here in a little bit because we've been jamming here for about 2 hours. Before we do, I want to show you two things and then bring up something. So if you guys caught the stream last night, I broke the news that Sean Aaron, who is my co-host on Ott and Stuff, and he's also my co-host on Appreciating Comic Book Art live on Tuesdays. His mom passed away Monday night after a long battle with an illness.
So sorry. I remember him saying about
thank
that.
you. Appreciate that.
Sorry.
And what I want to do for him, I've been talking to a bunch of people. I want to have a art auction sometime after Thanksgiving and before Christmas. And I'm looking for anybody that wants to be a part of it, anybody in the chat. I've had a bunch of people already reach out. If you have any kind of art you want to auction off, all proceeds going to Sean so he can help pay the medical bills and things of that nature. We know that you get burdened on in situations like this. There's been people reaching out, wanting to put in graded comics or signed comics or whatever. We're going to take everything and try to make a big event out of it and raise as much money and really, come around and help out Sean, who's, if anybody knows Sean, he's got a huge heart. He's a dude who's got
really does. He's
big
a
heart.
Altruistic guy.
Yeah, and he touches people in a lot of different ways with just his personality and everything. So I want to make sure we can support him in this time. If you know anything about Sean, he's been pretty open about the last couple of years. He lost his dad 2 years ago.
Jeez.
And he also lost his uncle and his nephew within that period of time as well. So he's dealt with a lot of loss, but he's strong as hell, man, and he's fighting through it. And I know that a lot of the well wishes from the chat and people that have sent him just messages helps out quite a bit. So I really want to gather around and do something special for him. Try to raise as much money as possible. So if anybody's interested, please DM me on any social media. We can get you involved in a way and let you know exactly what we're doing. But I want you guys to know, everybody that's in the pipeline, working on that to try to get that going in the next month or so. So yeah, shout out.
When's he going to be back and doing a show?
I'm not sure. However long it takes him to kind of just get through this time, and
probably not that long. I mean,
once he feels,
I think he likes streaming, so that's probably lifts his spirits.
Might be good therapy.
He does
exactly.
actually.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
actually, he does. I know that when he was dealing with the hard time of losing his dad, coming on and doing the streams really helped out, because it was just, he got to be on here, hanging out with the chat with his friends, and just kind of forget about the world for a second and just be a part of this. So I'm sure he'll be on as soon as he can and feels like he can. So, but until then, I want to support him as best we can. And I figured, because a lot of us are all artists around here and creators, that art auction would be good. So when we do that show, all the proceeds go to Sean for the bills. All super chats during that is same thing. Okay. So I'll keep everybody up to date on that. It's something I'm still putting together. It's obviously pretty new, but it's going to be in the works. So just, again, shout out to Sean. That's in the works. If anybody's interested in that, please hit me up.
Hey,
thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Message me on that, because I do got something I could throw in there on that.
Okay, awesome.
My mind, I can't remember shit. So give me one bump and I'll pull it to the side and remember.
Yes, I will definitely do that, and I appreciate that. Thank you. It cost us $6,000 just for the basics. Hail Sean. Yeah, I know, and he sees all this stuff, guys. Even if he doesn't have the chance to reply to messages, he sees it, and it definitely helps. So we appreciate everybody. So so just keep that in mind, guys. We're gonna be doing that. It's gonna be fun. Also, on the campaign, real quick, I have a mystery book, 2 mystery books that I was gonna be dropping. In one of the mystery books, I just got done with the line art, is right here, and I'm going to be putting this together. This is going to be coming in the next few weeks onto the campaign as well. Is
Kyle going to color that one?
Actually, Dan Kemp is going to color this.
Okay, that should be nice.
Yeah, because Dan's been doing a lot of the color work for me. Because Kyle's so damn busy, so he's doing the interior of the book, and I can't really ask him to do too much more with everything he's doing with Ethan and all the other stuff. So Dan's picking up a lot of the other color work that I need for the campaign. But this was a sketch I actually started on Ott and stuff one day. Had no idea what I was going to do with it. I decided to finish it out and make it the cover for this second mystery book that is coming. If you got the Destroyer tier, you get the mystery book automatically. If not, same thing as we did before. You'll get a secret tier link if you back the book, so that you don't have to pay shipping on this, and you can just add it to your order when it actually drops.
Cool stuff, man.
Yeah, we're having. I'm working with Chris Graves on some.
Chris.
Yes.
He's kind of and he's happy to have me ink whatever I decide to jump on, But we got, so it's me, him, and Kemp working on covers and pieces and stuff. So it's fun. I
That's
just jump
great,
in and
team.
dabble now and then on stuff,
That's great. Yeah, keep your foot in the whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Chris is great too. We're gonna have him on the show in a couple weeks, I think, as well.
Right.
I've reached out to have him come on and talk about some of the stuff he's doing, because he's kicking ass.
He's a great guy. We have a good chemistry together, So he's fun.
Yeah, sometimes that's everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've liked what I've seen from you guys.
Yeah. He just says do whatever, like, cool.
I love that.
Great time.
That's when you know you have the faith in the guy you're working with. Because I'm the same way with guys I work with. I know that they're gonna do what they do. I'm just like, do whatever, man. I'm gonna love it no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
So Flash You Ethan Campbell's channel is starting. A lot of people are starting up streams. I think Ethan just started streaming. Jetto says, "Poor Malin." I'm assuming he's talking about the Dale cover.
If he could see what's on my drawing table right now.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's coming, guys. And it's going to blow us all away.
I'm so picky. Like, I've been working on this forever. It's like, I'm drawing Pitt's face. I'm going, no, not good enough.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
Yeah.
It will be.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Before we get out of here, Chance, if people want to follow you, where can they get a look at your stuff and just everyday social media?
I'm the most unorganized guy. The best I could say, just follow me on Facebook. That's about it. I got a little bit of action on Instagram, but go to my photos into the folders. You can find some of the art I put in there. Otherwise, just Facebook.
You're not on Twitter?
No.
I just got on Twitter like a few months ago, and I love it.
I would say you should do the Twitter thing, especially because
I don't regret doing it. I mean, there's a little bit of negative stuff, but
absolutely, yeah.
That's nothing.
I don't know what I'd say.
Well, no, you don't have to. Your work is so amazing. People would just give you all these compliments. And
so you just post on Twitter, post pictures as well?
Yeah.
More so than Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's so many more people on Twitter.
On Twitter,
good.
The difference between Twitter is you don't see a lot of the people posting the crazy family stuff all the time. At least I don't. Like, it's not always like the vacation pictures and stuff. Like, it's actually, if you want to follow artists and creators, you get to see work posted, and that's what I like about Twitter better than Facebook right now.
But dude, when I said I quit smoking, I got just inundated with people saying, "Yeah, do it."
Yeah.
So I can't start smoking again. I said, no way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
When you tell somebody you do it, you can't. It's very painful to go backwards.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Onward and forward, people.
Dale, what are you working on now? You want to talk about anything?
I'm just, I'm doing a secret sketch for a cover. I'm finishing the mail-in cover. I got to get that done like in the next couple of days. I keep telling myself. But I'm telling you, when I quit smoking, I couldn't do shit.
Really?
I was just like, how you're so used to, like,
yeah,
dude. You draw something and then you stop and you take a smoke and you look at what you did. And then it's weird when it's not there. It feels empty. Like I'm trying to, I got some candies. I got a toothpick.
I can feel that. I can feel on that.
Yeah, you can feel the frustration.
I almost forgot. You brought it up and I went and grabbed it. And before we get out of here, this was the color guide.
Oh, there you go. See what I mean?
Nice.
One of the original color guides to PITT.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah, by Chiodo.
Look at the blue light hitting the top of.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. This is one of my pride and joys. I got to get this framed right now. I just kind of have it tucked away so it can't
I remember.
This is all hands.
I was into triceps back then.
Look at those triceps.
Amp
Look
up
at
those
that.
triceps.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
work.
this is pride and joy right there. Pride and joy. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. We did reveal the Dale Keown and Chance Wolf, Joe Chiodo, PITT Homage #1, Reaper Destroyer, Reaping First Issue cover a little earlier. It's out live on the campaign. Looks absolutely beautiful. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for working with me, making the dream come true. This was absolutely awesome.
Fucking great, man. Good to see you, Chance.
Hey,
really good to see you.
awesome.
We got to keep in touch. We got to do shows and stuff.
Really do. I would really look forward to that.
I mean, I have my own channel. I should
Yeah.
do some stuff. Do like music stuff on my channel. I need the viewing hours.
You do need it, yes. You gotta get them so you can get monetized. Absolutely.
And the
That's
last
what
thing
we
I
gotta do.
did, I got to cover that up with something. That's the last thing I did. Like, what are you doing, buddy? I did the worst thing of anything. I did the worst thing possible.
It worked. I mean,
and they didn't drum me out of the comic book industry, which is good.
it's because you're
I thought for
untouchable,
sure,
man.
Maybe
Untouchable. Talk about the big head, untouchable. That's what I was saying.
I should have been fired and canceled.
Well, you're uncancelable is what I say. So
that's what I like to tell myself. But
yeah.
I won't, I want to
right.
Don't let that go to my head.
All right, Chance. Both you guys stick around for a second. I'm gonna run the outro, and then we're gonna talk a little bit before I get out of here. But guys, thank you so much for coming out. Chat, thank you for showing up. I love you. I had a shot here, all poured and ready to go. I forgot to do it, so I'm gonna do it right now before the show ends.
I'm gonna take a slug.
All right, I'm gonna wait for Dale. This is to all you guys. This is also to Sean. Love you, brother. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna have Reenie, Steve Dye, and Jason Baskerman talking about their projects. It's gonna be fun at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Tune in. It's gonna be a fun show. Otherwise, everyone have a great night. Be good to each other. Take care. And as always, picture me naked. Talk to you later. Peace.